Good afternoon and welcome to M.M.E. I'm your host Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be covering the vehicle mode for Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 Legacy United Strongarm. Here she is in all of her utility truck glory. And before I begin, please go below, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. All those things go a long way to helping me raise awareness for the visually impaired and the blind through the means of which I raise awareness. And also, before I'd like to begin, I would like to, say happy birthday to my mom. That woman is a strong woman. Yesterday was her birthday, and what did she do on her birthday? She helped me get my cat Sonia to the vet, and then she helped me get my cat Sonia back from the vet, and she helped a few other people out. She did that on her birthday because she loves and cares for us, and that woman never gets enough positivity for her actions. And no one ever thanks her enough, in my opinion. She's a wonderful person, and she goes above and beyond. And I absolutely love her for it. So, Mom, happy birthday. Sorry I didn't get it to you yesterday. I was kind of focused on Sonya. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day, out of your birthday, and helping me take care of my cat. It meant a lot. So, let's get into this wonderful little truck. I like getting trucks whenever I get into Transformers. I've always enjoyed some Transformers trucks. I always like the idea of getting a nice little pickup truck or something like that. And personally speaking, one of my biggest regrets in the Transformers world is never getting Alternator's Optimus Prime, that Ram truck. I always wanted to get it, and I should have gotten it. I saw it on the shelf twice in my life, and I should have picked it up one of those two times. And to this very day, I could not tell you why I didn't pick it up. I just didn't. Maybe it's because I had MPO1 and I thought that was enough, but, later on in life, I'm like, man, that was a cool truck. I should have just picked it up just to figure out, how did you turn the truck bed into legs, or whatever the truck bed became. I should have done that because that's unique. That was really cool. And the guy who designed alternators, I got to meet him at TFCon, and that dude is really, he's swell. He's a lot of fun. And they even asked me, like, did you ever find the smiley face under Prime Shield? I never took it off, but there's apparently a smiley face under there. And he thought it would be fun to put that in there, and that is fun. TFCon in Orlando last year, he was hanging out with Transformer Psych podcast, Proto Man, and I got to meet Proto Man too, and he's also a lot of fun. Didn't get to pick up one of those Nintendo Entertainment System cartridges that transforms, but I hope I will one day. Those are really fun, and I just like the idea of a Transformer. I have some retro Nintendo collectors, or I guess you would call it vintage Nintendo collectors now, for the ones who collect NES stuff. And I that is on my want list so that I can give it to them and make them think it's a video game and see if they try to play it. Okay, enough blathering on. Let's get into this figure. So this is another rescue vehicle. This is a rescue utility truck. I think it's a police utility truck. It's definitely not a canine unit. I'm assuming it's not a canine unit. But the way this truck feels and stuff, it would be a police crash truck. This is a vehicle that, either the police or the paramedics or the firefighters will have. And this vehicle has containers inside of its bed and on the sides that allow for all sorts of emergency equipment to be stored. I always loved the utility trucks. You'd open one compartment and there'd just be 6 axes there. That was just in case anybody needed an axe for whatever emergency. There was a compartment filled with axes, and there was a compartment that had a small generator in it, just in case, for whatever reason, there was a generator required. There was a small generator. Of course, there was the Jaws of Life, and there was all sorts of just random tools and equipment, and it was just neat. There were even folded up firefighter hoses, just in case there was the fire hose was needed in an emergency. It was just kind of they thought about everything possible that they would need in an emergency and put that in one vehicle. And just for an emergency crash, everything they could think of for a crash situation, when two vehicles slam into each other or something like that occurs, they put it in one vehicle. It was neat. It was the ultimate utility vehicle for those situations. It was the Swiss Army knife of emergency situations. That's what that vehicle was, and I loved it. I just thought it was one of the coolest things in the world because it showed prior preparation. And that's always important whenever you're dealing with emergency crews and stuff like that. You have to be prepared prior to the event because you never know when the event's going to happen. So you can't prepare, in time to go to the event. When the event happens, you got to be there and you've got to be prepared. You've got to make sure that mini generator has fuel in it. And there's also spare fuel for that mini generator, always in the vehicle. You've got to make sure that everything in that vehicle is pristine so that it can be used in an emergency and it won't break when needed. But that's a little bit about those emergency crash vehicles. And that's what I think this is, because it just feels like an emergency crash vehicle. So let's bring out the handy dandy Lego pad, because I think I had it somewhere. Yeah. Handy dandy Lego pad, come here. I found you again. It went away because of the helicopter. So let's get this guy out. And let's see, does she indeed equal the 8 stud width that most of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's not right. I thought there was a, yeah, okay, I was at the wrong side. Here we go. I was like, I thought there was a bigger section for measuring this. Yeah, there we are. Let's see. It holds up 8 studs wide at the wheels. That means this thing actually also fits the Lego roadways, just in case you ever wanted an easy road system for your Transformers, something easy to build real quick for display. Those new Lego road plates are perfect. I've talked about the set multiple times on my channel, and I highly recommend it for anyone doing dioramas with chug scale Transformers in the modern day, because modern day chug scale Transformers are perfect for those Lego roads. It all lines up amazingly well. So that is neat. Okay, now lengthwise, not from the gun, but from the back bumper all the way to the front bumper, we've got, here it is, and that is 17, 18, 19 studs long. And height-wise for this beauty is, there we are, not too high, yeah, so 6 studs in height. Now let's go ahead and slip the handy-dandy Lego pad underneath my little stage. There we go. Okay, now let's go over the details of this figure and call it a day. All right, on the back, we've got 4 siege ports because of the back of the legs, and we have some, there's not really, and there is actually some detail for lights right on the back of each of the tailgates. Yeah, there's a little bobble there for rear lights. That's always nice. Those little detail points are fun. Then in the bed, we have a siege port that is a little too small for any weapon to be used with. I think maybe they slathered on the paint a little too much. And then we have these 2 little bits that feel like they're exhaust, but they're not. They're some sort of, well, I don't know what they would be, but they rest. There's like this little rocker thing here. Actually, I just got 86 Springer, and we're gonna see something. Okay, so we've got 86, the giant piece of ammunition 86 Springer comes with, and oh, it does. It fits in there. Ah, nuts, where did it go? Hey, here it is. Okay, so it didn't like me rolling with it, but let's try it again. It does fit in that little groove. Yeah, in the weird round groove on both sides. This giant giant missile. Yeah, you can just drive around with a giant missile holding there. So that's something you can put on the back of Strongarm because it does fit. Those round edges are just perfect enough for this to rest in. I think that's kind of neat. I don't know if that was intended, but I love it. And Now, over here on the side of the vehicle, we've got a siege port right up behind the tail light, and then beside it, we've got a little divot of maybe some sort of compartment, and not really much detail in there except for a single rivet at the corner, and no, not much paneling or anything like that, but there is some nice detail around the wheel itself, and the wheel itself is always really nice. Now moving up here to the middle of the truck where the doors are, we've got door texture. There's a door handle there, and I always like it when we get rear view mirrors. There's a rear view mirror, wonderful. And then there's the little step down area so that somebody can step up into this. They got that step that they can use before opening the door, or open the door, step on the step, get in the truck. And I like that. That's also a little fun that they were able to sculpt it into that, because I know these are lower parts of the Elita mold. Now, the front area, got a little more detail on the wheel well there. This is where those rivets come in that we talked about in robot mode. Really nice. And just sleek textures. This is smooth. It feels like it's almost waxed. And I like that, but it's more of a flat feeling. So definitely has that utility truck feel more than it has like sports car feel when it comes to the texture of the actual painted areas or just the vehicle itself. It feels like not much turtle wax is used on this vehicle. So there's the headlights and a really nice bumper. These headlights actually have vents in them. Neat little vents in there. And I love me some venti action. And then that bumper wraps around on each side. It's a really nice bumper when everything comes together. I love how you just kind of assemble this bumper as you're transforming the transformer. That's just a fun little extra treat. The grille in the front of the vehicle is really well done. More vent action going on. I love the vent textures. And then we got this hood. Not really anything going on with the hood except for a little raised square section to I guess represent maybe a slightly bigger engine under the hood. It needed just a little more clearance. The windshield's pretty good. They did away with sculpting in windshield wipers. I don't drive, so sometimes I forget the names of these things. So no windshield wipers sculpted in this time. That's surprising. They usually do sculpt in the windshield wipers. And the other side is a mirror of the first. And then at the top, we've got this really neat light bar that goes across, but it's not removable. And that's very, very odd, because in the Elita mold and the Minerva mold, this is actually another siege port. And Minerva has a removable light bar, but Strongarm does not have a removable light bar. So that makes Strongarm just that much more unique from the Elita mold. Just that much more Strongarm is her own thing. And I love her for it. I think Strongarm's vehicle mode is really where this robot shines. I know the robot mode was all right, but I'm going to give the vehicle mode the highest rating that any of these would get at an 8. I like the utility truck. I like the fact that there is a police utility truck available in chug scale now if you wanted to have that. And of course, I've just been gathering up all sorts of emergency vehicles over these past few years. We did our emergency vehicle size off a little while ago, and I intend to do something like that again in the near future whenever I get a few more emergency vehicles. Most likely after we receive the Transformers HasLab next year. When I get the Omega Prime HasLab, I'll do another rescue vehicle off where I compare all the emergency vehicles, because then we'll have the big daddy of them all. We'll have RiD2015 Fire Truck Optimus Prime, and that is exciting. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, once again, go below, hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, leave a comment. Tell me, what has been your favorite emergency vehicle in the Transformers line since War for Cybertron Siege? I'm stopping it there, because that's whenever I picked Transformers back up, as Siege was my calling for Transformers again after many years of being away. And I'll always love Siege for that. That is one of That's a good toy line. Always pick up something from Seige. It's worth it. Well, maybe not the Micromasters. Thanks again for watching. Until next Prime, Merry Christmas.